Hey guys, Patty Fosick here, owner of Nerdy Girl Fitness right here in Dover, coming to you from my studio with an important message. Last night I wrote this email, you probably got it this morning if you're on our email newsletter, about a health coaching client that I had been working with. Her name's Anna, and I had been working with her for the past 6 weeks, and we got to talking, and throughout the whole 6 weeks we actually talked a lot about her story and what she's tried in the past, and some things came up that she felt like she was a failure because a certain program just didn't work for her. And I started to think about all the women that I meet here, all of our members, all of our clients that come in, women that come in for success sessions, and I hear their stories. And there's 3 things that always come up that I wanted to talk to you, because these 3 things you may also resonate with as well. So the first thing that I hear is that people come in and they're like, I've tried this program and I was really successful at it, but then I just couldn't keep up with it. And I just, all the weight came back and then more. Well, that wasn't a successful program, right? A program that that somebody gives you, say if you walked into gym number B down the street and they're like, I'm going to give you this program, you're going to lose this amount of weight, blah, 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 blah. But then if you can't keep up to their strict standards and you gain all the way back because it doesn't fit into your lifestyle, then guess what? That's not a successful program, right? A successful program, and that's actually what happens, like, I think in 99% of the programs that you see, like, online, in other gyms, these programs are like, you can lose X amount of weight in 6 weeks, and drink this shake 3 times a day and you'll lose this amount of weight. But guess what? If that's impossible for you to stick with for your life, past the program that you're on, past those 6 weeks, then guess what? That's not a successful program. That's a bad program, actually. That's not a successful program. The other thing I hear a lot is that someone will say, I don't have the willpower, or I don't have the motivation to do this. You don't need either to have a successful program. Coaches are great at getting you fired up, right? Even we do that here. We try to get you fired up so that you'll be successful. But those are like, just stick it out for these 6 weeks and guess what? You're going to be successful and you're going to lose all this weight. But then what happens after the 6 weeks? You can't keep that up over time. You can't be gung-ho for your entire life. Stuff comes up. Our lives change, our families change, our jobs change, stress happens. You can't possibly keep that up for the rest of your life. You cannot rely on willpower or motivation. If somebody says to you, you just need the motivation or you just need the willpower, that's a bad program. Don't ever go to somebody that says, you just need more willpower. No, willpower and motivation, these things are like a muscle, right? You can only work it for so long until you exhaust it. And then when you exhaust it, then what happens? Then your chances of actually continuing with that program are very slim to none, right? You can't continue to do that. You just can't. And then the third thing that I hear a lot, and even Anna had said this when I was speaking to her yesterday, was, they didn't reach their goal, so they got discouraged and just gave up. Well, the first thing I always ask is, well, what were your goals? Half the time, we set very unrealistic expectations for ourselves, right? We think that we should be able to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks and 20 pounds in a month, but it doesn't work that way. You could lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, or 20 pounds in a month, or 20 pounds in 6 weeks, or whatever the case may be, but chances are you're going to be wasting muscle, because all you're doing is looking at that scale and saying, why isn't the scale going down? And then you're going to be fighting with your metabolism. You're going to be fighting with just the way your body functions in order to see that weight on the scale. And then when you don't see that happen, then we just give up. Well, we put way too much pressure on ourselves. And this goes back to I don't know about you, but I remember seeing all sorts of advertisements for Slim Fast, all sorts of advertisements for Jenny Craig, all sorts of advertisements for Nutrisystem. And, you know, all of these programs that are promising you all of these things that are just unrealistic. They're not realistic, and you can't possibly, you know, just try to do this program, and then if you don't lose the amount of weight that they say that you're going to lose, think that you're a failure, because you're not a failure, you know. And then once you're done with that program, then what? You know, say you do a program for 6 weeks, because a lot of these things are like, oh, in 6 weeks you'll do this, and in 6 weeks you do that. And I see it all over Facebook, I see it all over Instagram, I hear it when people are talking. But then what about in 10 years? What about in 20 years? What about in 30 years? What about in 50 years? In 50 years, I'll be like 94. Do I want to still be able to walk and function when I'm 94? Of course I do. Or when I'm 70 or when I'm 80. So what happens then, right? So I hear these stories all the time. And, you know, and women are like, I did this program and I lost all this weight, but then I gained it all back. Well, that's not a successful program. You know, we have women in here like Rachel, Jessica, Deb, Rosie, Elise, Jen, Shannon, like all these people that have been successful long term. They lost weight slowly. They were able to get off medications. Some of them were able to lower A1Cs. They reduced their blood pressure. They're no longer on cholesterol medication. They've lowered their cholesterol. But if I went out and said to you, hey, I can help you reduce your blood pressure, that would be a boring program, don't you think? You'd be like, well, I don't want to join that one. They're gonna help me reduce my blood pressure and reduce my A1Cs and get off all these medications. Well, that's boring. But that's what we do, and that is a successful program. Our programs are backed by science. They are backed by facts. They're backed by studies. They're not just your run-of-the-mill, here, do this and eat this food. No, we look at your habits, we look at your lifestyle, we look at your environment. If you don't clean up your environment, and if you don't work to change your environment and change your habits, you will not ever be successful. You won't. You will stay in the same roller coaster, just looking for that next big thing, that next big potion or promise. But guess what? Promises don't solve problems. They don't. They're not going to help you. They're not going to, I can give you any promise in the world, but if you don't put the work behind that, if you don't actually work to change your environment, to change your habits, to, you know, look at your lifestyle as a whole and think of things that you can change slowly, that is what a successful program all entails. So if you are willing to listen and to learn from a program that is backed by science, it's backed by facts, then I want you here at Nerdy Girl Fitness, because that's what we do. And if you resonate with anything that you heard from the email that I sent out about Anna, I want you to contact me. We do have a new program, a new body project that is starting on the 21st of January that I would love to have you involved with, or simply just come in and sit down and talk to me about other programs that we offer. We offer health coaching, we offer personal training. You know, you may be like Anna, who wasn't ready for, you know, this big, huge weightlifting program that her personal trainer wanted her to do in this unrealistic meal plan. That's perfectly fine, because not everybody is ready for that. And I want you to work in a program that you're ready for. So that's what we're here for. And again, Patty Fosick from Nerdy Girl Fitness, and I hope to see you at the studio. Have a good day.